I'm Gary O'Reilly.
And I'm Chuck Nice.
And this is Playing with Science. Yes, today we return to the ever-expanding universe that is Twittersphere and explore the thoughts of the Doctor, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Don't forget, the last time we considered his tweets, we learnt there's not a good day to be a chicken. Or if you're swimming on Mars in an Olympic pool, it will simultaneously freeze
and boil.
Exactly, and boil. So if that's your kind of show, we have got you covered.
And of course, we've got you covered with the man, the myth, the legend, the man himself, Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson!
I didn't know I was a myth.
What's that?
I didn't know I was a myth.
Well, mythical.
Mythical.
You are mythical. You are not indeed. You are not a myth.
I don't mind being a myth. I'm just saying I didn't know.
I see you are here in corporeal form, so I cannot call you a myth.
Corporeal form. Ooh. Showing off that SAT vocabulary.
Raise the bar.
Corporeal.
Somebody bought a word of the day calendar.
Corporeal.
What's tomorrow's? I'm got that far.
I think tomorrow is obstreperous. I'm going to go with that.
No. You got to stay in the mood and say tomorrow. If today's corporeal, tomorrow is ethereal.
Yes, absolutely. Very good.
There you go.
Feel that magic.
Neil is a man of words. He loves words, and so I appreciate that.
But mainly in
such is the layout of
less than 140 characters.
Yeah, it would be fewer than 140 characters.
Thank you kindly. See, the grammar has now brought itself forward.
Grammar in the house. Mm-hmm. You're a Brit. You're supposed to know this. We're supposed to be jealous of your command of the language.
We've kind of.
Why are you staying out of this?
We've loosened our grip slightly.
It's too good for me to interrupt.
I've loosened our grip slightly on the grammar, and we've allowed you to run free with it.
Oh, thank you.
That's why we are divided by a common language.
Okay. Thank you, Churchill.
Thank you, yeah. On the beaches, here we go.
So this is our tweet show.
Yes.
And we have the tweeter-in-chief, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
You plucked my tweets from the Twitter sphere once again.
Yes, we do. Well,
yeah. This is a school day for us. This really is front row of the class. You are now.
I hope I remember my tweets that you pull out. Okay. What do you got here?
So what are we going to do? We're going to kind of jump around and just hit whatever sports you guys put that Neil put on Twitter, and we'll see what they say.
What do you have?
Okay, here we go.
Ooh.
In baseball. Or maybe you should read them.
I can do it.
It's your voice.
So rarely, maybe 1 in 100 tweets, if that often, I will present an opinion.
Ooh.
And other tweets may feel like opinions. Mm-hmm. They're written with passion, as most opinions are.
Right.
But they're actually just facts.
Passionately conveyed facts.
Passionately factual.
Yes, but this one I'm ready to read is an opinion. You ready?
This is an opinion. Okay, here we go. Here we go.
In baseball, if a pitch hits you on ball 4, you should get to advance to second base.
Wow.
Because if you're hit by a pitch, you take first base. Ball 4, you take first base. If you're hit by a pitch on ball 4, you go to second base.
Right, because what you just gave the pitcher was a free pass at beaning somebody.
That's right.
Hey, what do I got to lose? It's ball 4. I don't like this guy. He's going to take a base anyway. Let me just pop him one.
So are you worried that the batter might intentionally get hit by the ball?
Right.
Step across. Right. I mean, you know why?
Like,
I'm going to step across.
Yeah, but you could do that for any pitch, and why don't you?
Because it's ball 4, and now we've introduced the math. I think by the time you get to first base, there's an attorney waiting for you to argue the case against you progressing.
I'm going to say that guys who lean into a pitch and take a hit, they
got cojones.
Yeah, they deserve that base because I believe that ball might be traveling somewhere around 90 miles an hour.
Yeah, plus or minus 90 miles an hour. It hurts.
If you know the pitcher doesn't have that kind of heat, and that's not his thing, maybe you take the percentages. Maybe you gauge.
I don't know enough about baseball rules to know if you intentionally go into the strike zone with your body and get hit. Is that really getting hit by a pitch?
Oh, no, guys have done that. There are guys who have leaned into
the strike zone?
Yeah, they've leaned in.
I thought there was some rule.
Oh, no, the ball is slightly, the ball's on the edge.
Yeah.
Okay, and so, of course, it's a judgment call at that point. And so you lean into the pitch because you want to take that base. You're guaranteed that base.
Yeah, but if you lean into a strike, I don't think they give you your base.
No, well, if that's
attorneys come back.
Oh, can we look that up, Garrett?
Yeah.
Garrett, can you look that up? If you lean into what is clearly a strike and take a hit,
I don't think. I think it's a strike.
What is the rule in baseball? Will you be awarded a base, or will you be called for perhaps something like interference?
Just so as our listeners know,
pitch interference.
Yeah, because Garrett's head of our legal team, and he's right now sourcing a definitive answer to that question. And as soon as we get it, you'll have it. So.
I like the concept though. Ball 4, you get hit, you get a second, you get 2 bases since you would have gotten a base anyway.
Would have gotten a base anyway. So that was just my opinion. I just thought if we needed a new rule in baseball, that should work.
You know, we
anything to liven this game up. As far as I'm concerned.
What did we get into with JP Arancibia?
Yeah.
Catcher.
So we had catcher, which you will hear this show in the near future.
Quite literally catch that one. Yeah,
you
sorry.
Very nice.
My apologies.
There, that was kind of cool, man. But JP Arancibia, who is a catcher, former catcher of Major League Baseball catcher, gave us some really interesting insights.
In Little League, I was catcher. That was my position.
Really?
Yeah.
How are your knees?
Plus, our one of our producers, Lindsay, was a catcher.
I do know that. Lindsay was indeed a catcher.
She was a softball catcher in college.
So and we had Holden Kushner on, who's a host for TuneIn on their Major League Baseball, and they were saying they are looking to really get something going, to get this thing up and invigorated. So I don't know whether you've struck a little bit of a vein there, a little bit of a golden vein.
Yeah, basically what JP was saying was that the league is looking for ways to make the game more exciting, and he said it in the most diplomatic way possible because he's a former Major League Baseball player. Because the flip side of that coin is the game is boring.
Right.
That's the flip side.
Slow.
It's slow. Right. And it's not boring to the person who's a purist. It's not boring to the guy who sits there with that little card.
That's what
I've seen him at the ball games, and they're keeping, that's a person who loves, or somebody like me who loves a pitching duel. You know what I mean? Because that to me,
here's the thing.
I love the tension that builds during the pitching duel.
In my day, and I'm older than both of you.
Okay.
Long baseball games were 2 hours.
That was a long
baseball games, and it would not be uncommon to have a 90-minute baseball game, at most 100 minutes. And nowadays they bottom out at 2 hours, and they typically go 3.5.
Right, and so why the length, and why to change the length?
So watch, because I did this experiment once.
Okay.
So back in the video days, where there's like videotape, I said, I wonder how long the action of a full 9-inning baseball game takes.
I'm with you.
So you just edit out all the time stuff, nobody's happening.
Right.
The whole game, 15, 20 minutes.
The entire game.
The entire game.
When you just edit out everything
every
is
moment where
superfluous.
Okay. Any time where they're running in from the outfield to switch innings, the time after the pitch. So here's what happened. In the old days, the batter never left the batter's box.
Right.
Nowadays, every pitch, the batter steps out, they hit the cleats with the bat.
Well, there's a reason for that.
They'll rub their hands in the dirt, they'll spit on them.
It's funny, I read a science.
It's a whole at-bat ritual that didn't used to be there. And all it takes, think about it, if it previously took you 1 minute, and now it takes you 3 minutes at your at-bat, everybody takes 3 times longer to be at bat.
Right.
Just to bat.
But there's a whole load of psychological rituals and
well, that's not a ritual. It's actually neuroscience. When you see a pitch, and you stay in the batter's box, you don't walk away. You don't, and the pitcher throws you another pitch, you will see the last pitch. So your brain...
you're shaking it off.
Right. Your brain will say, here it comes again, when it's not. So your brain lies to you about the pitch that you're seeing.
No.
So you walk out of the batter's box...
Get a fresh entry
entry back in. So that's why they do that.
Okay, so...
Are you serious?
No, I'm serious. That's there is neuroscience behind that.
Are you saying that Major League Baseball studied the neuroscience research papers?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, according to the Scientific American article that I read about 4 or 5 years ago. So
there's brain training in baseball in terms of seeing the pitch. We can probably get into that. But getting back to your little bit of hatred for baseball, or so slightly
hatred
spectrum.
Did that word come out of my mouth?
My word.
Wait a minute.
When you're
Get
talking
back to your hatred for the game, using your vocabulary. Okay, go on.
So when you take baseball and you reduce it down to its action only, you can do that for any team sport, any tennis match, soccer game, NFL game. Baseball isn't alone. So when you hang it up there like that,
in tennis, the time you're playing versus the time you're not playing is vastly greater.
Yeah.
than it is for baseball.
No, I don't. But I'm saying if you want the highlights, you can play as many tricks as you like with editing to reduce that down to say, this wasn't a great game, whichever sport it is.
All I'm saying, when I said the baseball could last 15 to 20 minutes, I'm not talking about highlights. I'm talking about every single pitch.
Right.
All right.
Every single pitch.
So does this come with television's influence into the sport of baseball?
Well, because they're selling ad time, so
and then the media guys got into buying major league franchises, didn't they?
Yes. So, what you have is you have collaborations, if that's the right word, between a professional team and a broadcast network. So you have the Yes Network.
Didn't Disney own the Yankees at one stage?
I don't know.
And
Disney owning
Rupert Murdoch.
I'm thinking if they did, I would have heard about it.
Yeah, sure.
But I don't know, because I'm native of the Bronx.
No, I'm with you. I may be spreading disinformation, which seems quite popular these days.
All right, so now we asked the question whether or not a batter who leans into a pitch that is clearly a strike, does he get the walk? And here is explanations of rule 6.08, hit by pitch. Situation 1, batter takes his or her position in the batter's box with their arms extended into the strike zone. Batter is hit on the arm by the pitch while not swinging. Ruling, dead ball, time. Okay, strike on the batter, no award. So it's a strike. You're right. The batter does not get to take a base when he leans.
It's a strike.
It's a strike. He's given a strike.
What's situation 2?
Situation 2, batter swings and misses the pitch, and the pitch touches the batter. Ruling, dead ball, strike on the batter, no award.
So the swing outweighs the ball contact.
Exactly. So you swing and get hit,
Right.
you're struck. You struck out.
Right.
Don't try to clean it up by taking a...
Situation 3, what do you have here?
Situation 3, batter takes proper position in the batter's box. Pitch is inside, and the batter makes no attempt to avoid being touched by the pitch. Ruling, dead ball. In other words, he took the hit.
Yeah.
Just took it. Ruling, no award.
So it just counts as a ball, even though you got hit.
Even though you got hit.
So you have to actually actively get out of the way of the pitch.
So it looks as though the ruling is this: if you look like you are intentionally in any way taking a hit, they're not going to give it to you.
Or passively or actively.
Passively or actively. Whether you just stand there and don't get out of the way, or whether you lean into it, either way, you can't take the hit.
They want you to hit that ball, don't they?
Wow. Okay.
Interesting. Well, thank you, Garrett, for giving us the rules.
Thank you to our legal team.
And our crack research team there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
However, it still says it's still a pretty cool and interesting prospect to say.
You know what?
That
maybe
through
the process it will find its way back at Major League Baseball HQ.
It's just an offering. That's all.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That's all.
There you go. All right. So we
up.
move on to another tweet, please. Another baseball tweet, please. Let's bring it up, Neil.
This is nasty.
Okay.
All right. Careful observation. That was me doing the statistics on this.
All right.
Careful observation reveals that players and coaches of a 3-hour baseball game spit at least 6 gallons of saliva onto the field.
Oh my God. Wait a minute. Now, Neil.
What? What?
First of all, why? That's number one.
Why? What are you, William Shatner?
Why would you? Why would you measure spit like that? That's number one. But what I want to know is, how do you measure the spit?
Okay.
The spittle itself.
You want to know the anatomy of this calculation?
Yes, exactly.
Please, we do, because we've got this far, we might as well have everything.
Okay, all right, so here you go. You ready?
Go ahead.
So, I made an assumption, which could be off by a little bit, and so then you just scale the answer appropriately.
Okay.
That every time you spit, you're spitting 1 cubic centimeter of liquid.
Okay.
Cubic centimeter is not that much.
That's not a lot.
It's not a lot. Maybe you're
Those guys are hawking some loogies.
They're hawking loogies.
Yeah, they're
Loogies.
right. Yeah.
Loogies.
Yeah, loogies, man.
Yeah.
Hawk a loogie?
You hawk a loogie.
Hawk a loogie.
Hawk.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was first assumption. Okay, now here's how you make the measurement. Watch the camera focus on one player and another. Okay?
Right.
1 out of 4 times, in the 5 seconds the camera's on a player, the player's spitting.
Is it like yawning?
that was my-
It's a
Okay.
contagious thing.
Oh, no.
So once the first guy spits, they all kind of
No, they're not
catch
looking.
that
No, the
down
camera's
line.
looking at the player. The players aren't looking at
Yeah,
one another.
they're not really looking at each other.
So I concluded
Even though that would be kind of cool if spitting was contagious.
that if in these 4 or 5-second bits,
Right.
a player is always spitting,
Okay.
that means every player is spitting once every 30 seconds.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. And so once every 30 seconds,
Yes.
course of the game.
So now you have 25 players. Now there are players not on the field.
Right.
Players sitting down.
So you're counting them as spitting too?
Of course. They're spitting in the dugout. Just look at them.
Oh my God, I am getting sick.
Okay, wait. So you have, I think it's 25 active players, and the dugout. It's what you got the bullpen and the dugout and the players on the field. Okay, so every player spitting. And by the way, it's really reliable. Just do your own measurement. Look at how often the camera's on a player. And how often and any random player is spitting.
You get loogie cam.
Now you're nasty.
Oh, that's just loogie
hang on a minute.
cat.
Wait, so you do the math.
Your observation wasn't.
Wait. So it's,
right, go ahead.
it's 1 cubic centimeter of
Right.
saliva every 30 seconds.
Every 30 seconds.
From every player for 3 hours.
Oh God.
And it just simply adds up. That's all I'm saying.
Are you
my God.
conscious of the fact that you may well have underestimated?
Well, so it could be. Did I say approximately or
Yeah.
so around?
Yeah. But no. Honestly, it's clearly an underestimate based on the time, and you're using 1 cubic centimeter.
Right.
Which, like I said, that's not a lot comparatively.
Except I tried spitting, and I could not spit 1 cubic centimeter.
You're not chewing that stuff.
Yeah, but you gotta
and
chew
you're
the
not
crap.
eating
I got
the
to
nuts.
chew the tobacco.
Right. You got to
the
chew the
tobacco,
tobacco
give it
or the
a
Now
gums.
there are people who don't spit saliva, such as A-Rod. A-Rod spits shells of
The nuts.
of
Pistachio. No.
no, the other one.
Sunflower seeds.
Sunflower seeds.
Sunflower
So
seeds.
he's spitting shells of sunflower seeds. So that's not. That still takes up volume. So this mixture would be like hawked loogies, shells of nuts, as well as just pure saliva.
You know what? I don't know why, but I am so hungry right now.
Chewing tobacco.
So now, how many games in a season for a major league?
162.
How many teams?
There's how many teams are there?
Well, I have no idea.
32 teams, something like that. I don't know.
A lot.
Yeah, so this is a lot of saliva.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of it's a lot of spit.
I had a
Oh,
team.
by the way, I used to spit because I thought it was cool.
Right.
When I was in middle school.
Right.
And I found myself generating more saliva for having done so. After about a week of it.
The more you spit,
The more you spit,
the more you have.
Yeah, the more you have to spit.
Right.
It's strange. You talking about the spitting and the professional players. I had a teammate who was young player, was so nervous, he would sit there and just spit.
Really?
Unconsciously just spit, but pure nerves.
I can
Sure, okay.
I can just hear people out there right now going. It's totally like gacking.
So here's my thing.
ahead.
The good thing about a simple calculation,
Okay.
it's what I say, 6 gallons. Right. So if I converted cubic centimeters to imperial gallons correctly, let's assume I did that correctly for the moment. So if we find out the average spit is a half a cubic centimeter or 2 cubic centimeters, then it's 3 gallons or it's 12 gallons. Right?
It's one or the other. Right. It's a very simple.
yeah.
The
Right.
point is, it's a lot of spit.
Yeah, it's a veritable tsunami of spit.
Yes.
Yes.
So loogie cam, I think it will be the future of the game if you want. Okay.
It's an awful lot more than we ever considered.
Yeah, that's the.
All right. I say we move along. Let's do a
Please.
teaser. Why don't you read your next one? Because we only have less than a minute left in this segment.
You pull these out of the Twitterverse.
That's right.
What's the next one?
Here's the next one.
Here we go.
Here it is. Go ahead.
Hand-stitched balls, rubbing mud, leather mitts, wooden bats, pine tar. Baseball, a game untouched by modern materials.
Okay,
that's pretty good, man.
Yeah, it's the old ways.
Just saying.
Yeah.
It's just.
Baseball. We fear change.
But no, is it better or is it worse?
Well, if changing materials will improve the performance of the player, I think you should do it.
Absolutely.
Because you go to see performance, you don't go to see the absence of performance.
There you go.
So now I'm told that we'll pick it up. You ran out of time.
Yeah, we're out of time, but we'll pick it up when we get back.
Pick it up when we get back.
Right.
I'm ready for
Wood
it.
versus aluminium. Another thing we got in with JP and Ansibia. So we'll take that break. We'll have more baseball, thoughts of the good doctor.
And we'll tell you what aluminium is when we get back.
Welcome back. I'm Gary O'Reilly.
And I'm Chuck Nice.
And this is Playing with Science. We are exploring the tweets of Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson and focusing most definitely on the sport of baseball. Before the break, we were discussing pine tar, hand-stitched balls, wooden bats, and getting into old versus new. Now, when we spoke to JP Arancibia and we spoke with Charles Liu,
Yes.
what's the best material you could have for a baseball bat? And Charles went with aluminium. And
Absolutely. He
JP said, oh, baby, I'm a power hitter. Give me that aluminum bat, please.
Yes. So the aluminum. So what I was told by a sabermetrician, so someone who thinks long and hard and deep about every bit of detail in baseball that even baseball fans would not care about.
Okay.
Just to put this on scale. What he told me was that in professional baseball and MLB, if the batters used an aluminum bat, it would kill the pitchers because it would come off the bat fast. Right now, they barely have enough time
to react.
Correct.
Oh.
Barely. They can just get a mitt in front of their face and not get hit by the ball. With an aluminum bat, that time is dropped to below their reaction limits, and you would basically you would harm.
So you would increase the exit velocity to a point where reaction would not be possible.
Where at a typical hard hit ball will reach the pitcher before the pitcher can react, and you will hurt the pitcher.
Yo, I am all about this.
See, that's the other side of the coin.
Awesome.
Right?
You just made baseball my favorite sport.
So you can use an aluminum bat and hit a 400-foot home run every time, and you'd kill the pitcher.
Just drill a hole through.
Now, see, I'm paying for this.
This is where I knew that would go.
I will pay to go see this.
Fans want this.
So this is kind of like
gladiator baseball.
Batter's revenge to the pitcher.
Love it.
The batter's revenge on the pitcher. You would only sort of accidentally hit it back to the pitcher because you don't have that much control.
I was going to say, you would have to be the best. First of all, if you could do that, you would never hit the pitcher. You would just place the ball out of the park every single time and be the greatest home run hitter ever. Right.
So that would be like batter's revenge on the fact that you're a sitting duck in front of a 90-mile-an-hour fastball.
Wow.
But I'm just saying, that's what he told me. And so I had no reason to doubt what he said.
So we should get a poll as to whether or not they want to see the pitcher in danger or whether they want to see
I just want to see the sports report that evening. Tragically, another death today in Major League Baseball.
No, you got to lighten it up. You say, another busted nose.
Right, exactly. Yeah, don't make it.
Right.
Led to
another fractured orbital bone.
Occipital, orbital.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's cool, man. Wow, that's fascinating.
So that would be aluminum.
That makes sense.
How about some other things? So, for example, so they use pine tar so they can be sticky. Surely there's some artificial stickiness that works better than pine tar.
Well, the gloves now.
What's that?
The gloves now.
Gloves will do it.
Yeah.
Gloves, in fact, you can put the material that the pass receivers use.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Have you felt
that
the gloves
gel material? Right, that gel material like Odell Beckham.
Odell Beckham Jr. When the Nike Innovation Team, he came in and they'd explored a whole
the texture of a surface.
Different surfaces.
Right. And so your hand goes up, the ball just hits and sticks to your hand. So so gloves help that. Then you don't need the pine tar. But it was kind of fun to watch old time like the Yankee catcher from a few years back. He didn't wear gloves. He just
Pena.
Yogi.
Not Pena. Yogi. We're going way back.
Way back.
Posada.
All right, we go. Jorge Posada.
Jorge Posada. No gloves. My boy, just there it was in the pine tar, and it was sticky, and there he was.
Fans love him for that.
I just thought it was something classic about that.
Oh, that's cool.
These wusses that need gloves. Right. The gloves will improve your grip, but also if the glove is too spongy, then your hand is not your hand has give against the surface of the bat. So, and fractions of an inch make a difference between a pop-up and a home run.
Right.
A difference between a home run and a...
I'm guessing for a catcher in his mitt, the intimacy and feel that has to come through the hand, through the leather, and be able to feel that they've got total caress on that ball when they catch it. Here we go. I'm taking it to another place now.
Come here, baby. This is my glove.
My glove.
Playing with science after hours.
Whose glove is this? Whose glove is this?
So what they could do, so holding materials aside, what they could easily do is have a laser measured strike zone. And then you don't need the umpire. And they do it in...
Oh, ding, 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 ding,
excuse
ding,
me.
ding,
Wait.
ding,
They basically have it in tennis.
Yes, they do.
They do, but
however...
And they accepted it.
You've got to listen to the baseball show we do with...
JP Arnsibia.
Oh, because...
He talks about what
he
you just
opens
said.
the book on the umpire.
He gives us a little peek behind the curtain of what goes on with
So
the umpires.
I'm not voting this way. What I'm saying is... You could do that, and it would be precise every time.
Right. Prompting a debate.
But I don't have a horse in this race. If I can mix sports,
okay. I'm there.
I don't have a ball in this glove. All right.
All right.
So,
whose glove is this?
I like this glove.
I like this nice glove. I want two of these. I want one on each hand. So here's the interesting thing.
Go ahead.
What makes baseball interesting is not knowing if the umpire is going to accurately call the ball or the strike on the edges of the strike zone. And this creates another dimension of uncertainty for the batter.
Right.
Because the pitcher wants to throw a strike, but if they throw a strike, you're more likely to hit it. So they have to throw something that looks like a strike so that you try to hit it and you don't get good wood on the ball.
Exactly.
So it is cat and mouse like no other one-on-one encounter in
there is another dimension,
professional sports.
There,
awesome, yeah. Well, no, and that is a that's very salient what you just said. And then what JP told us was that in addition to that, there is a political aspect because when you mouth off to an umpire, he then says, "Oh, really? Okay," and what he'll do then is not give you the calls.
He sends you to the naughty base. And you're everyone's...
Okay, yeah. So plus they'll give you. I saw umpires give Jeter a call that they were not giving some other players who were just nasty players.
Well, that just makes sense. I mean, come on, he's dreamy Derek Jeter. Are you kidding me?
Dreamy.
Guy's gorgeous. Okay.
All right, let's go to another tweet before Chuck just really completely melts into Jeter's arms.
All right.
All right, here we go.
Next up.
Good.
All right, this is Physics 101 right here. I just thought I'd toss it out there.
All right.
Laws of physics show that it takes twice as much energy to throw a baseball 100 miles an hour than it does to throw one at 70 miles an hour.
Interesting.
Wow.
Okay.
Twice as much energy.
Now,
that's why it's so hard. How many people throw 100
mile an hour baseball? Right.
How many? Like 5 ever? You know, I mean, how many people? That number is not as high as you think it would be, given how many people throw 90 miles an hour.
Now, here's the deal. I know that is Physics 101.
Yes.
But there are a lot of people out there who don't know why that is. So maybe you should tell them why.
Good cover. Well done. No one saw through that. Brilliant. And plus, you saved me from saying it.
Okay, so in physics, once we finally learned what energy was and characterized it and what forms it can take, that birthed the Industrial Revolution. Just so you know how important this is.
Ooh.
So energy and it's your ability to transform it from one form to another is the foundation of every machine we've ever built.
Gotcha.
All right, with you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why do cars work? Because we take chemical energy in the fuel and convert it to mechanical energy, which is you moving down the
pistons
street.
going up and down.
Where did the chemical energy come from? It came from living matter that once got its energy from the sun, plant life that was buried and got converted into fuel. So we have sunlight converting to chemical energy, converting to mechanical energy.
Gotcha.
And once we learn this, it blew open civilization.
So pitchers are solar powered.
That's right. Actually, ultimately, we are all solar powered.
There you go.
Because even if you eat steak,
Right.
it's some cow.
Right.
What did the cow eat?
Grass.
How did the grass grow?
Photosynthesis.
So where does the sun get its energy from?
I'm going to say, oh, wow, you got me on that one.
It is thermonuclear fusion.
I was about to say the plasma that is so-called burning.
Yeah. So we are thermonuclear fusion driven.
Right.
Ultimately.
I like it.
I like it very much.
Yeah, going to get that.
Me likey.
Get that badge.
Yeah.
On the back.
Thermonuclear fusion. So this was the problem. I saw there's a bumper sticker, one of these sort of green bumper stickers.
Right.
Left-leaning green bumper stickers. It says no nukes.
No nukes.
And the O in the no is the sun.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm thinking
There
no.
you go.
You
No,
can't-
because
sorry.
that's still
Excuse me.
That's a
I know what you mean.
Right.
But the physics of this doesn't play.
Right, exactly.
Because how the hell do you think the sun is making its own damn energy?
And did you like go by them and flip them the bird and go, you commie, and keep going?
No, Niels,
Commie liberal? Get out of
Commie
here.
liberal bastard, you!
hold them over and then just give them the one-to-one lecture. On why this is
No, I
incorrect.
don't get angry with people for not knowing. As an educator,
Of course, right.
yeah.
No, the pitcher, Araldus.
Yank them out of the car, drag them to the side of the road, and then you give them a lecture.
That'd be so funny.
Araldus Chapman, is it?
First of all, wait,
Who
that-
really
wouldn't that
burns
be-
it at 100 and something.
Right, so
plus?
here you go. So energy scales. Scales as so one form of energy is kinetic energy,
Right.
the energy of being in motion.
In motion.
Okay, so anything in motion has kinetic energy, and there's a formula for that. It's 1/2 times the mass of the thing times the velocity of the thing squared.
Okay.
All right, we're squaring.
We're squaring. So baseball at 70 miles an hour, square 70. What do you get? You get 490.
Okay.
Square 100 miles an hour. What do you get?
100 times 100.
100 times 100.
Hey, factually correct.
like that?
Factually
like that?
correct.
Sorry, 70 squared is 4,900.
Right.
Okay, I said that wrong.
Yep.
Right, 7 times 7 is 49.
Right.
You carry the
Times
two zeros.
two zeros, right.
So 4,900. So put a pin in that number.
Right.
You square 100 miles an hour, you get 10,000.
Right.
And 10,000 is about twice 4,000.
Right, 490 times, right. So, right.
That's how you get it. So,
look-
100 squared is basically twice what 70 squared is. I could have said 72 or whatever would get you exactly.
Right, that would have given you an exact, but who cares?
Who cares, right. It's the idea
It's
that
the
matters.
idea.
Okay.
So to
What-
go
what-
from 70 to 100, twice as much power is needed then.
Correct. Now, I went to one of those MLB traveling arcades.
Okay.
You ever been to one of those where there's a pitching cage?
Yeah,
and
they're- right.
Yeah, and it's just fun. And there's a bunch of trucks that they open up, and you go
Yes,
in and
yes,
you
yeah,
play.
yeah.
It's a great PR for MLB.
Right.
And they had a pitching cage. And so I thought, let me throw. I'm in shape guy.
Okay.
Was at the time.
Right.
I have strength. I have speed. I have agility. I took the ball and I threw it as fast as I possibly could. It went like 72 miles an hour.
That's not a bad pitch.
No, excuse me. If a pitcher in MLB throws 70, it's a
Well, you can't play Major League Baseball.
now the slow ball.
Yeah, that's called an off-speed pitch.
Off-speed pitch.
That's called an off-speed
I'm putting
pitch.
everything I got into this
The great
pitch.
thing is, you would fool a major league batsman with that pitch because he's thinking, here comes the heat.
Yeah.
Swing it at a ball that
Here comes Tyson.
Right, yeah.
Badass Tyson.
Yeah.
And they don't know that's all I got. 70 mile an hour pitch. So you just square it. And this is why, for example, it is much more dangerous to drive. You got a quick calculator here?
Yes, it's called you.
Yeah.
So if you drive,
Go ahead.
so if you're driving 50 miles an hour,
Okay.
okay,
Right.
and square that, what do you get? It's 2,500.
2,500.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is the square root of 5,000?
Oh, God. That's a good one.
God, we don't need God for this one.
I do because
And God for the really hard calculations.
what
which
is it?
button the square root button is?
No, we don't. I don't. No, they don't
You might
have one.
to flip
5,000.
the screen on the different horizon.
I got. Okay,
You have a one that.
I got one here, man.
Please be
Who
patient,
do we get
listener.
these hosts to the game here. Okay, so what did we say? We said
5,000.
5,000.
square root.
so 50 squared was 2,500.
2,500.
We have so now we want 5,000 square root. Okay,
Yeah.
and we get 70. So if you're driving at 70 miles an hour, your car has twice the kinetic energy than at 50. What it means is if you are in a head-on collision, there's twice as much energy that has to dissipate by the time everything stops moving. And that energy goes into crushing the car, breaking the glass, goes into the sound of the collision, and it goes into crushing the squishy things that are inside the car itself. Human beings.
Unless, of course, you are ejected and go through the front windshield.
Right. Then you go through the front windshield at 70 miles an hour. And then you'll hit something else at 70 miles an hour. Where does that kinetic energy goes? If you hit a brick wall, nothing happened in a brick wall.
Right, exactly.
All that energy gets put back into your body.
Right, and you look like a Rorschach test against the wall.
Exactly.
So going back to the nicer...
This is so pleasant. That's what I like about this conversation.
The energy variation. If I've got a guy who's 6'5", really long levers, I'm on a mound, so I am pitching down invariably.
His name is Randy Jackson. Randy Johnson.
Randy Jackson, that's the Lost Jackson brother.
Right, that's the Lost Jackson brother.
Lesser Jackson.
Who was not as good of a pitcher.
So does the length of the lever not then mean I have less need to upgrade the energy? Or does that
No.
He's talking about angle of release. If you're a tall guy.
So if I've got a longer lever and I'm bringing it to bear on my
pitch. Is it easier for you to hit 100 miles an hour is what you're saying?
And to get that speed with a longer lever do I not need to use less energy?
You still have to. Well, so here's the thing: if you pivot at your shoulder and you have a really long arm, then if we are both pivoting our shoulder at the same rate, but my arm is longer, that ball is moving faster at the end of that.
Right.
But you still have to. The ball has a mass.
Yes.
So you have to. And
it's constant.
And your arm has mass. So your muscle has to be able. So it's not the same thing happening.
No.
So back up.
Yep.
Yes. Two arms swinging at the same angular speed. If I have longer arms, I'm throwing the ball faster than you are. But I have to move my arm as fast as you're moving your arm, and it takes me more energy to do so.
Right. Oh, cool.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool. That's right.
That was this kind of wrinkle.
I got to accelerate the ball and the weight of my own arm.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing as when you have like two things on a string, and you're swinging them at what one string is shorter and the other string is longer.
Yes.
And the two things on the end of the string, one is going to be going faster on the longer string.
But
it takes more energy to move that.
Generate that
and keep that going and to generate
Cool.
See, for my logic, it would have been the other way around, which is why I asked the question, because I think you were going to bust that myth.
That's why we have, so I don't know how you got your logic, because you said by your logic. We'll work on your logic.
My logic against yours is not a fair competition.
No, but the good thing about taking physics classes is that you learn the logic of the universe, and that replaces the logic of your life.
Well, the logic of our universe right now is that we do have to take a break.
Let's do that.
We are past
We ran over.
time.
Sorry
we
about
ran
that.
over,
Right.
but guess what? It was worth it. And so we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back with more Neil deGrasse Tyson and his tweets.
I'm Gary O'Reilly.
I'm Chuck Nice.
And we are honored to have Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson with us and his numerous tweets, and we are sinking our teeth into baseball. We've chewed on quite a bit, spat out quite a bit.
Just to be clear, I didn't post these tweets so that you could use them for the show. That was not my intent.
Yeah, we did that without your permission.
I just want you to know. Yeah. I put them out there for peeps out there who wanted to see a little bit of physics in sports.
Yeah. But see, in 140 characters or fewer.
Yes, or fewer. And I tweet 125 characters.
So
you purposely keep your tweets at 125 characters?
That's how I roll.
OCD. Anyway, see, in that little small compartment.
There's reason behind it, but go on. All right, what's up, Gary?
In that small compartment, you can't give a detailed explanation of why your thoughts have gone there. And I think what we're trying to do is give our listeners the opportunity to understand what's behind that.
Okay,
so,
understood.
No, we're not claiming them as our own.
Understood.
We can't.
I claim them as my own when I'm not in your presence.
Did you just a minute ago put on lip balm?
I did indeed, and I must say that
do we get that on?
There is no manly way. There is no manly way to put on lip balm. You can't do it. I defy any man to put on lip balm and look manly. Not once have you ever been in a bar and seen a guy like, "Excuse me, Oh no! You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna bust your face right now. Hold on 1 second.
Mm-hmm. We put on some lip balm first. Yeah. Okay.
All right, let's do this. No, you will never. That will never ever happen.
Okay, but anytime I see someone using lip balm, I must share with you the fact that the Cassini mission to Saturn, which will end this year.
Yes.
Okay, it's been going for 12 years.
I'm interested to
On
see how this applies to lip balm, but I'm all ears.
Oh yeah. Okay, so the Cassini mission to Saturn.
Right.
It was like a $3 billion mission over the 12 years, something like that. And
Bargains, if you ask me.
Oh, yeah. So you divide it out, what is it per year?
Yeah.
It's a few $100 million per year.
That's a bargain.
In the United States, we spend as much money as the Cassini mission to Saturn on lip balm.
Whoa! Look at that.
So when I see you putting lip balm, I want to take it off your lips and get another machine.
Get another machine out to Saturn.
I wondered how that journey was going to equate to lip balm.
Yeah,
and I'm happy that we
No, I think Americans should have soft, supple lips. So I'm not saying we should
just Americans.
It's Americans.
Exclusively an American thing.
Yeah, because we're the big consumer of lip balm.
That's right.
Men and women. So I get that. So
yes.
I just want people to know what the cost is. And so I don't want to take away your lip balm, but just whatever you spent on lip balm, put a little extra in the piggy bank. That's what we're spending on this mission. That's all.
Right on.
Go out to the shop, build yourself a Cassini with the money you've saved on lip balm.
All right, I'm laughing right now because in our studio, for those of you who are listening via podcast, we are also, we can be found in video form on StarTalkAllAccess.com. And right now in the studio, they are running me on a loop, putting my lip balm on. And I gotta say,
it's a little sneaky one.
Yeah.
Sneaky lower lip.
I have to say, I have never looked more dainty and delicate.
Okay, so Chuck, just so you don't feel bad.
What?
I too have lip balm with me.
Oh, thank God.
Put it on while the camera's running.
Right.
So you don't feel bad.
Okay, good. Mm-hmm. See? Look at that. Not even Neil. You're a big guy, too. You can't do it. You cannot put on lip balm and look manly.
It's not really something you do with pinkies out, is it? It's not.
No, not at all. All right, Neil, now let's make out.
Mine is flavored. How about yours?
No.
I think we need to take a break. Are we still on air?
All right, let's get to another tweet. Let's get back to another tweet. Let's get back on track.
Let's not make it about lip balm.
All right, here we go, Neil. What's the next tweet?
All right.
If a man uses 3 tons of lip balm during a lifetime, go ahead, sir.
All right. Wait, just to be clear. So the mission was several $100 million a year. There's like 300 million people living in the United States. Mm-hmm. So that's $1 worth of lip balm per year on average.
Right.
And that's an easy, it's not a hard
calculation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, easy calculation.
It's not a stretch to see how you get that number.
There you go.
Okay, so what's the tweet? What do you got here? If baseball reported averages to 4 decimal places instead of 3, then a 300 hitter would be batting 3,000.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Well, so I just want to make it clear to people when they say he's batting 300.
Right.
Mathematically, that's not what he's batting. He's batting .300.
Right.
Okay. So he's actually batting 0.3.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
So 3 out of 10 times he gets a hit.
Right. So
it's basically a 70%. He's at a 70% failure rate.
Exactly.
It's what he is.
Where you can fail 70% of the time and still get
You're an awesome player.
And you still get in the Hall of Fame. So it's just by tradition that we carry an extra 2 decimal places beyond the first one. So technically he's batting 300 out of 1,000. Okay. So, but you're leaving off the 1,000. And if it's just a pure 300 hitter, you're batting 3/10. Any of these would work the same way as saying you're batting 300.
Okay.
But we don't say they're batting .3. We just don't.
Right.
It's not in the tradition of the reporting of the game.
And it also makes them seem like losers.
Now, it turns out later in the season, you want to carry a 4th decimal because a single at-bat has a much lower torque on your average than it does at the beginning of the season. Think about it.
Okay, explain more for me.
I'll tell you.
Please.
I'll tell you. All right? I've played 1 game this season. I've had 4 at-bats.
Okay.
I happen to get 4 hits.
Oh, shoot.
So what's my batting average?
The best.
What's my batting average?
Batting 1,000.
1,000. You're batting 1.
Batting 1.
Yeah, 1. Yeah.
Batting 1.
Okay, now the next game, I'm 0 for 4. So now I have 8 total at-bats with 4 hits.
I'm batting 500.
Batting 500. The next game, I'm 0 for 4 again.
Right. Now I'm still batting 250.
250?
250.
So does that right? No, it would be, you'd be batting, no, you're batting 3.
No, because what do I have? Oh, no, because I have 12 hits. I mean, I have 12 at-bats now
and 4 hits.
4 hits. Okay, so I'm not.
No, 4 out of 12. That's 4 out of 12. Right. So you go down to, now you're batting 3, 3, 3, 3, 3.
Right.
So you're jumping many more digits early in the season because the average has a smaller baseline on which to calculate it.
Gotcha.
Okay? By the end of the season, you're bat 1,000 times or 500 times. A single at-bat is touching maybe that last decimal place.
Gotcha.
So you add a fourth decimal place, and then you're back in business watching what you're doing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that phrase, statistics and damn lies.
Oh, lies, damn lies, and statistics?
Yeah, so you can manufacture that statistic to say whatever really you want it to say.
No,
not with batting averages.
I've missed 70% of the time. I'm 0-3. You know, it's however you want to twist
Well,
that
they're both
spin.
accurate.
Yes,
It's just what attitude you want to cop.
Right. Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah. It really it's really a marketing thing. It's how you want to present it. Mm-hmm. All right, well that's cool. Right. All right, let's move on. Let's get another tweet in.
Please.
Get another tweet
Next up.
Baseball should track extraordinary plays that fielders can bank and then credit against errors they might later commit. This is another opinion.
Okay, I don't know if I'm following you.
Okay,
there.
so ready? Ready? I'm running after the ball. I'm an outfield. I'm running after the ball. I do a shoestring catch, and I tumble, roll back to my feet, and throw the guy out at second base.
All right.
Okay? That's going to make a highlight reel.
Yes, it is.
If the next game I make an error, that play should cancel out the error. That's all.
I'm going to have to push back on buddy. No way.
I want to bank that extraordinary play.
No, you know why you don't get to bank that? You know why? Because you get paid $8 million a year. That shoestring catch should be done every single game. You're supposed to be the absolute creme de la creme, and so you're not supposed to make errors.
I want a bank account.
You want a bank.
I want a bank account.
But the golden rule.
Wait. Especially since if you make a great play, you might have prevented a run.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well,
whereas an error
they call it
allowed a run.
They call it robbing a guy of a home run.
There you go.
When you catch a ball right when it's about to leave the park.
I'm thinking even Steven. That's all.
Doesn't work like that. You get the golden rule.
Says the Brit.
Yeah, no. Sorry, the sort of overarching sporting attitude in the elite sphere is you're only as good as your last game. In this account, scroll that down to you're only as good as your last play. So whatever you did in the past, baby, history. We're living in the now. You're getting nothing for what you did before because every time you step out across that white line, you have to reprove your reputation. You have to improve, reprove, deliver. So there's no way.
Oh, that's a new one. That's a new one.
Yeah. I like it. That's the Janet Jackson, what have you done for me lately?
Lately, that's true.
Lately. I like it.
All right.
Miss Jackson, if you're nasty. All right. All right, so we're almost out of time. We're at the end. So anything else?
I don't we go back. Not a tweet. I was thinking of tweeting this, but it required more thought than I was able to give it, and so I haven't tweeted this yet. But
all right.
I'll pose the question now.
Okay.
Spoiler.
Okay. If you're an outfielder,
okay,
and you always make the highlight reel for extraordinary catches,
okay,
does that just mean you're slow?
Yeah. I understand that.
Okay,
because here's the deal.
Okay.
Let me see if I'm following you. I'm with you on this one.
You with me?
I get you. So let me see if I'm following you correctly. So here's the deal. Ball is hit hard to right field. Okay,
no, right center.
Right center. That's even better. Hard to right center. Okay, and I take off. And
you're the right fielder.
And I'm the right fielder. And I'm running. I'm haul assing. And then all of a sudden, I lay myself out and I snag it. I hit the ground. Catch. I bounce. I come up and I hold it up and I'm like, yes. And everybody's like, ah. Yep. Now, same play.
Now I'm the center fielder.
Now you're center fielder. Hard right. I am fast as I don't know what. I get there and wait for the ball. Poof, pop fly.
Pop fly.
Pop fly.
There it is.
Why? Because I'm fast.
You fast.
Right. So the slow dude always looks like he's doing something special. Really, he's just slow.
Here's what complicates it.
I like it.
I got the other
like
point.
it.
Okay, so you're looking at it and saying he got there late because he's slow. What if he shouldn't be within the same zip code of this catch, and the only reason he gets there, he's that quick. He's cheetah fast.
No, we know in advance
Right.
that he is slow. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
We know he's slow.
And that's why he always looks like he's making a great play.
Here's what complicates it to your point.
Oh no! So here we go. Yes, yeah.
Master Brit fellow. Okay. Here's to your point.
Why do I think that's not good for me?
No. It's all said with affection. Okay. Here's
They are our closest ally.
Here's what I think you're trying to say.
Yes.
Okay. That the slow person has a smaller circumference, a smaller perimeter in which he can make the play. Because he doesn't run very far between the sight of the hit ball and when the ball gets out there.
There's another point.
Whereas the fast person covers a wider area of the outfield. So their perimeter they have a much
wider
coastline.
Yeah, much wider, yes.
Okay.
And so their coastline gives them more opportunity to make a spectacular
No, and guess what? That's all. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
In
Go
defense
ahead.
of the guy who's towing a trailer, right? A good pro.
Slow people, yes.
That's it, right? So a good pro knows their limitations. So if the guy's really fast, his limitations, as you've highlighted, are that much bigger. Now, the guy who doesn't have the foot speed...
They have lower
fewer
limitations.
No, in terms of the space they can cover.
Yes,
Right? So the guy who's got less speed knows he's got less speed, yet he's been in the majors X amount of years, possibly 10 years. There's a reason why. What doesn't happen down at his feet happens between his ears. He will now know the pitch, the batter, the way, the series.
So you're saying he's the smarter player. He has to be smarter.
He will be moving.
Or he just could be lucky and be on teams where there's a center fielder who's like, I got it. I got it.
So it's not all about speed sometimes. The intelligence and experience of a player will make him naturally move before and position himself to compensate for the lack of speed, which is why the guy's been an all-star 5 out of 10 years that he's been in the major leagues. Doesn't have the foot speed, but he's got something going on upstairs. Now, that's another side of the coin you might or might not wish to consider.
Well, for the purposes of this tweet, that guy doesn't exist.
I would say there's no amount of intelligence that will compensate for not being fast.
Oh, no, don't get me wrong.
That is so funny.
I'm not saying, guys, you wouldn't want a team full of Olympic sprinters that could do the job, but the guys don't all have the same foot speed. So the guys that can exist without the foot speed,
you're saying they're compensating.
They've got something else going up there. They know, they're reading, they are ahead of the plays.
Well, I got to tell you something. What you just said about there's no amount of intelligence that can compensate. All right, just very quickly. A long time ago when I was in corporate America.
But it's a head-on speed thing. That's what I'm saying.
But we did this team building exercise where you go away for a weekend.
You were once in corporate America?
Yes, I was. Please, let's not go there.
The record show.
Let the record show. Anyway, part of the seminar, the guy, when it comes to putting together a team, he says to everybody, so when you're putting together a team, let's say we're putting together a football team, what would you want? Would you rather have a guy who is the fastest, the most incredible physical specimen ever, or but maybe he's not that bright? Or would you rather have a guy like Rudy? Remember the movie Rudy? A guy who will give it 150%, even though that's impossible, but he would do it every single time. He'll give you 150%. He's completely dedicated. Rudy the bench warmer guy who got to play. He's like, what guy would you want on your team? And so a bunch of people put up their hands and said, I want Rudy, because that guy's like, he's got grit. And I went, give me the stupid fast dude. And he said, absolutely. You want the stupid fast guy, because there's no accounting for that. Right. You cannot make that up.
Right.
Yeah. I'm just going to teach him to catch. He can do the rest.
There you go.
All right. So talking about super intelligence, we can only add to that sentence. Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Neil, thanks, man.
Thank you. So should I tweet the outfielder thing?
I like the outfielder thing. I like it. I
Somehow, I still don't feel I'm coming out well out of this. Right. On that point, let's say goodbye. Thank you once again for being our guests here on Playing with Science. I'm Gary O'Reilly.
And I'm Chuck Nice.
We've had the pleasure of Dr. Neil deGrasse
Gentlemen,
Tyson, and we look forward to your
and a pleasure to
Thank you,
serve
sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you kindly. And more tweets, I'm sure, from Neil in the future. Stay tuned. We look forward to your company next time.
Hey, did you like that? Cool video, huh? Well, how about a bunch of cool videos, all commercial free, plus exclusive original content that you can't find anyplace else, all on StarTalkAllAccess.com.